Your interview with Putin.
With who?
With Putin.
I've heard the name, but
With our President Putin.
yeah, it sounds familiar, but I don't. Thank you. You walked me into a corner.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me here. I really do like it. I'm not just saying that. And again, why do I feel guilty like I'm betraying my country for saying that? I'm not. I love America. This is a really nice city, and I don't care. It's true. So thank you.
Tucker Carlson's time in Moscow spent hanging out with Vladimir Putin is getting a lot of attention as planned, but I'm not sure what to make of his exit interview where he nervously felt cornered in that garage and in the questions he was asked.
Thank you.
Maybe he thought the original plan of making a little money and spreading a little more Russian propaganda was suddenly taking a bad turn, had him wondering if he stepped out of line with Putin.
On February 22nd, 2022, you addressed your country in a nationwide address when the conflict in Ukraine started. And you said that you were acting because you had come to the conclusion that the United States, through NATO, might initiate a, quote, surprise attack on our country. And to American ears, that sounds paranoid. Tell us why you believe the United States might strike Russia out of the blue. How did you conclude that?
It's not that America, the United States, was going to launch a surprise strike on Russia. I didn't say that. Are we having a talk show or a serious conversation?
Here's the quote. Thank you.
I guess after they established that this was probably a talk show conversation masked as a real one, it was time to get Putin's message out.
At a meeting here in the Kremlin with the outgoing President Bill Clinton, right here in the next room, I said to him, I asked him, Bill, do you think if Russia asked to join NATO, do you think it would happen? Suddenly he said, you know, it's interesting. I think so. But in the evening, when we met for dinner, he said, you know, I've talked to my team. No, it's not possible now. You can ask him. I think he will watch our interview. He'll confirm it. I wouldn't have said anything like that if it hadn't happened. Okay.
Were you
sincere? It's impossible now.
Would you have joined NATO?
Look, I asked the question, is it possible or not? And the answer I got was no. If I was insincere in my desire to find out what the leadership position was...
But if he had said yes, would you have joined NATO?
If he had said yes, the process of rapprochement would have commenced, and eventually it might have happened if we had seen some sincere wish on the other side of our partners.
Tucker's trip to Moscow wasn't only to get his name back in the news and give the Russian leader some more airtime. For conservatives, they were openly rooting for him as a more powerful leader than the president, but it was also to be used for radicals to make their political case in favor of his invasion into Ukraine.
And I have to praise Tucker Carlson for going to Russia and being willing to interview Vladimir Putin just to get the truth out, just to get the story out, and let the American people decide from themselves. It doesn't mean we have to believe everything he says, but we should be able to hear from him.
But like most things involving today's Republican Party, all motivations lead back to supporting Donald Trump's goals of retaking the White House. And since the former president has his own highlight reel of kneeling to Putin, Tucker felt he couldn't go wrong in following his lead. Or maybe Putin's simple gesture of endorsing Trump's flailing argument that the chance of legal accountability for his actions was a threat to America, maybe that played into it as well. Because world leaders have known for years that if they butter him up, he'll hand them the keys to the country in return.
То, что касается преследования Трампа, ну это, конечно, для нас то, что происходит в сегодняшних условиях, на мой взгляд, это хорошо.
Почему?
Потому что это показывает всю гнилость американской политической системы, которая не может претендовать на то, чтобы учить других демократии. Все, что происходит с Трампом, это преследование по политическим мотивам своего политического конкурента. Вот что это такое. И делается это на глазах общественности США и всего мира. Они просто обнажили свои проблемы внутренние.